Okay, now we're going to deep dive into venue configurations. So return to your venue general section by going to venues, click on your venue, and stay in general. We already updated the general information in the last video, so now we want to go into the configurations. The first stop is your calendar colors. There is 3 ways you can control colors in calendars for your venue. And that is by just a venue color. You can override that with event type colors, which I'll show you in the next video. Or you can have area colors. So it's really what your priority is and where you want the colors. So this is for a venue color, so the background color and the default, and you can override this and actually type in your hex number for your brand standards. Then we have availability colors. So these are the colors of the availability. So when there's appointment slots available. So for show rounds, for example, the green would be there's full availability. This coral that I set, some. So that means if there's 4 slots, 2 have been booked. Red meaning none. Same for tastings. And then you can set colors for other appointments, meetings, etc. that you may be managing with your main Sunith calendar. You can always click and pick on the colors. I have these pop up here just for my personal Chrome settings, but you can pick your colors. Now we're diving into the configuration. We're telling Sunith how we want it to behave in certain scenarios. Customers can manage seating plans. I'm going to go to yes, because I want my customers to be able to say who's sitting at table 1, who's sitting at table 2. Manage layouts. I'm going to say yes as well, because this also allows them to see the layouts. So they can see where table 1 is, table 2 is. Can manage items. Now, items is an optional event management section. The purpose of items is really accountability. It's where the customer can say what they are responsible for bringing for the event. Could be things like grandma's cake knife, confetti, AV equipment, whatever it is that will be dropped off ahead of time. They can add it onto their items section. And then once it's received at the venue, it can be checked in. So you not only know what's been or what's intended to be delivered, you can see what has been delivered, and there can be notes on its purpose. And just as important as seeing what has been delivered, you can also see what has not been delivered. So the day of the event, looking for grandma's cake knife, well, look, it was never delivered to the venue. If you don't want that item section on, you can leave this at no. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Max tastings per event. It's going to be 1. And this is applied to all events. So that's our max. Charge bar tab in advance. I'm going to leave this as yes. So the bar section is where the customers let you know if it is a pay bar, if they're doing an account tab, there's no bar. By having a bar tab in advance, it means a customer can say, they're putting 1,500 pounds on the bar. And when that section is locked, it will generate that charge for them to pay the 1,500 they're putting behind the bar before the event. Auto-generate event references. You can either enter your own event numbers, optionally. You can also leave that field empty. Or Sunith can generate an auto-generate an event number for you, event reference. This will be a 6-digit alphanumeric number. In every event is unique. And this can be used for referencing payments. You can speak internally instead of by a customer's name, just mentioning the event reference. So I'm going to have it auto-generated. Require complete guest list for day guests. I have this on yes, meaning yes, I want all the names. It will prevent the customer from submitting their guest section. If they say 50 day guests and they only have 45 on the guest list, it will flag them. They need to tell me exactly who's coming. However, on the evening, I'm going to put that to no. I don't need to know the names of everyone. I just need to know that there's going to be 40 additional evening guests. Show run form direct URL. redirect URL, excuse me. So as part of our viewing your show arounds workflow, you can include a show around questionnaire. It gets additional information from the customers, potential customers, before they attend their show arounds. If you want submission of that form to redirect them to a specific URL, you can put that URL address here. Okay, reallocate guest quotas. So if you have an event where there's 50 included adults and 0 kids, if you reallocate the guest quotas and they ended up at 45 adults and 5 kids, that quota will be reallocated, meaning those 5 extra kids will not be charged for to kind of take the space of the included extra 5 adults that are not attending. So again, if there's 50 adults included, but only 45 are confirmed, those extra 5 can be used for kids without generating additional cost. If you want those kids to be charged extra, so even if they're not meeting their included numbers for adults, but you want the extra kids or young adults or whomever to be charged for, then you would say, no, I don't want the quota reallocated. Always cater for included minimum. And this is a scenario with food. So let's say your included number again is 50 and the confirmed number is 45. For canapes, which is a cater for, do you want the cater for the included, so that 50, or do you want the cater for to be the confirmed number, which in the scenario I've shared is 45? So always cater for included, yes, meaning they're paying for 50 people. We're going to cater for 50 people, even though there's only 45 in attendance. Customer code is mandatory. That can be yes or no. I'm going to leave that at no. You do want to make this mandatory if you're utilizing our Sage export. You can deep dive in that on the Sage video. Allow bookings without any areas. No. This is important to prevent double bookings. This way, any event reservation has to be associated with an area. Check ceremony availability when booking. So there's a ceremony workflow where you can have defined ceremony spots. A scenario where this would be used if you have a large estate and you have multiple reception area and dining areas. So maybe you have a couple different marquees, and then you have one ceremony spot on the premise. So there's one chapel on the estate or one garden, and you're managing multiple ceremonies in that one space on the day. So that way you can book one event at the 11 a.m. ceremony time, another event at the 1 p.m. ceremony time. Most venues have that as no. Section deadlines. This is how many weeks before the event this section is due. And this is published on the portal as part of their timelines or pending tasks. So these are the event sections or event management sections, and then how many weeks before we're saying they are due. And then once those sections are locked, they can generate additional charges. Any additional charges generated by section locks, we're going to make due at 4 weeks as well. And actually, I'm going to move these up to 6 weeks. And I'm going to make them due at 4 weeks. So generate the charge, and then they've got 2 weeks to pay. So to generate the charge at 6 weeks, payable 4 weeks before the event. And then activity setup. We will deep dive into this on the activity setup and notification video. And state limits directly link with that. The time status exceeded activity. And this is the amount of days for each status before generating this time status exceeded. So that's your general configurations. So take your time to go through each one and choose what is the best setup for your venue and your venue's policies.